All right, peace and love, family. Welcome back to another Friday. This Friday, this is information that so many people have been driven to my information, even from the past. I can think back when we were talking about many different things in terms of setting up one's 508c1A, right, which is a private ministry or a church. A lot of people use this as a trust as well. So I want everybody homework to go look into a 508c1A. This is information and teachings that we've been teaching for some time, and organizations and things that we've shown even live here on this channel, where I've gone and registered my vehicles into this 508c1A and these things, so that ultimately nothing is in the name of the fictitious entity of our all caps name, right? It's an organization that's set up to mirror each and every single one of us. Today, we're going to be talking about how to legally avoid taxes when you guys invest into a specific asset, one that I've been big on all year in 2025. You guys have noticed that I've shifted completely from teaching and educating you guys on consumer law to business credit to acquiring financing to now, once you guys have gotten the financing, once you guys have leveraged the business credit, once we've discharged all of the debt from the consumer law teachings, now we're able to go out and now we're able to invest. Well, what assets can I invest into that will not only bring me back cash flow, but ultimately that will help me with taxes and escape this tax game and bit Uncle Sam, right? I know none of you guys want to be owing Uncle Sam anything. And so if we look at the wealthy are putting their money into real estate. And something my mentor has always told me is that success leaves trails. Right? If you guys can agree with that, I want you guys to drop in the comment section. Success leaves trails. I see Theo Sammy, shout out, tuned in. You already know, nephew, what it do. My guy Oliver's tuned in. Much blessing. So today we have a presentation where we're going to go over how to legally avoid taxes when you guys invest into multifamily real estate. And every Friday going forward, we're going to continue educating you guys within the multifamily space and how you guys yourself can get started investing into real estate as well too. No matter your situation, no matter if you've got good credit, great credit, or terrible credit, or even no credit, you yourself can get started investing into multifamily with little to no credit at all. With the information, all the teachings that we're going to be providing to you guys every single Friday going forward. We've already had about 3 episodes, so I believe this is episode number 4. So much blessings for everybody tuning in. Let's dive right into it without further ado. Let me go ahead and pull this up. As you guys can see, it's just me today as well too. My brother Michael was caught up in some meetings, so he won't be able to join us today, but he's with us in spirit. So as you guys know, I love to start out all my calls, everything that I do, with gratitude. So I want you all to drop in the comment section one thing that you guys are all grateful for while I'm pulling up this slide. What's one thing that every single one of you guys is grateful for at this very moment? Right? I want you guys to really think. And then I want you guys to share with us. Share it in the comments. Because the more that you guys express the gratitude, right, it's a frequency that you guys are emitting. Right? In the beginning was the word. Right? The word is a frequency. Right? Words have so much power over our reality and everything that we see to this present day. Once we can change our words, once we can change our thoughts, I promise you your whole life can change as well too. And so I want you guys, and I challenge you guys leaving here, to start affirming your gratitude and expressing it every single day to people that you're grateful for. Oftentimes people don't know how grateful for you, how grateful you are that they're in your life, excuse me. And so it's important to express your gratitude. I always say gratitude is my everyday attitude. Right? Once we can live in that frequency, I promise you guys will start to see everything else change as well too. Right? This is me typically on a day-to-day, So we brought this out for you guys. This is the vibe, every day, to go inward, to take that journey inward. And so let's dive into today's call. Let's see, share screen. All right, beautiful. And so you guys can see, let me go ahead and zoom in because it will not, we're going to do it the not so sophisticated way because this MacBook is outdated. And so I'm in need of an upgrade. I just need to transfer all my files and whatnot. So today we're going to go over a year-end tax strategy. So we're in the month of November. Everybody's preparing and prepping for tax season, right? Which is coming up, which we're going to have a special guest tune in, a individual that's been in the tax space, one that many of the top high professionals in the North Austin area and professionals being in the business space, some of the biggest business owners in the North Austin area come to this individual specifically for tax strategies that he specialized with over the years. He used to be a licensed broker. He also used to work with Charles Schwab, and now he's giving out these strategies to his clientele. And you guys are going to be able to get the information, the insight here on this channel. And he works with our fund, specifically with Multifamily Locker Room, and helping our athletes strategize. And with them being paid as a W-2 employee, which many people are unaware of, these professional athletes are getting paid millions of dollars as a W-2 employee. There's tons of tax strategies and loopholes, specifically in real estate. And, we're going to be showing you guys here in today's training. So if y'all are ready, go ahead and drop the word locker room in the chat box and we'll go ahead and get this call underway. Let's go ahead and sip some water. Make sure you guys stay hydrated throughout today's live. And if you guys have any questions throughout this live at all, make sure that you guys do drop it in the comments. I always say no question is a dumb question. We're all here. You guys are spending your guys' time here to learn. So if you guys have any question or one thing that can spark something, ask it. Maybe I don't answer it. Maybe somebody in the chat box can, or maybe somebody watching this is the answer to what it is that you're seeking. Maybe you're looking for some property managers. Maybe you're looking for somebody that does underwriting. Maybe somebody that's watching this replay or that's here live or that's within our private community is tuned in and they see your question and now they reach out to you, and now that, synergy is created. So drop comments, let's exchange energy. Let's, communicate together while we're here. So don't just take in all this information. So end of the year, why does this matter? So October through December is a window for proactive tax planning. All right, the best tax strategy, ultimately and above all else, that's been proven over the years, right? I always say men and women lie, numbers don't lie. If you look at the most wealthy individuals, they own real estate. They own and have developments, such as Walt Disney. That's, Disneyland. That's a commercial real estate, and the hotels that come with it. Right? That's real estate. Land is real estate. Right. So we all are well aware that the most wealthy individuals, and even if we think back from the colonization of this land in the 1600s, the biggest thing and the thing that they wanted most was the land and what resources came with that land, and what draws people to those areas. And so the more people that are drawn to that area, the more valuable that piece of land or that piece of real estate that you develop on that land will be. And so ultimately that's what it is that we're doing. We've got 3 markets specifically. We've got Arizona, we've got Texas and North Carolina. And real estate has been proven for time and time, for centuries, to be the best investment that one can have long-term. Initially, there's so many other ways, and especially with me coming into entrepreneurship and the business space in 2019, I got started in the crypto space. I got started in option trading. So when we talk about returns and being able to have an investment and your money work for you, I've seen it literally in seconds. But at the same time, what's fast typically doesn't last, and it's not as sustainable as things that are more long-term. And if we look at things that have been proven throughout different trends, right? If we think about what happened in the 2008 crash, multifamily sustained it. People's multifamily assets weren't being affected as much as, especially the residential side or the commercial office spaces or other pieces of real estate. And so when we talk about real estate, yes, there's tons of real estate, and many people are well aware of real estate and investments and how and what we're going to talk about today, different investment strategies. And I'm excited for Patrick. Let me see where he's at and when he's going to tune in as well, to be able to tune in here and give you guys some information. And if you guys got questions, I want you guys to drop all the tax questions in the comment section, because we've got a tax strategist that people pay a lot of money just to work with. And so you guys are able to be here present on this live. And I always say proximity is key. Proximity is key. Who you are, who you surround yourself with is truly who you guys become. And that's why you guys have always heard you want to be the dumbest person in the room. You want to be around people that know more than you, right? You want to be a student, because the best leaders in this world, and I was just reading a book by John C. Maxwell as well, The Self-Aware Leader. The best leaders are the best students, and those that have been able to be led for time, because now they can have compassion and now they can put themselves in the position of the individuals in which they're leading. And so, family, I'd advise you guys, if you guys got any questions, if you guys got money and to put certain places, but you're not specifically or fully sure of where, ask questions. If I can't answer it, my business partner Patrick, who's going to join us here very soon, is going to be able to answer that question for you guys. But as you guys can see, real estate offers deductions unavailable in traditional investments. And that's the thing as well that I love about real estate is physical. Like I mentioned, in 2019, I got started. If you guys go back and watch my videos from the beginning, I got started in the crypto space, Forex space, option trading space. And it was fast money. And it was, people always, and when I would talk to high net worth individuals, they'd be like, well, how can I get my money? Or how can I, when can I get my return? Or, so I can just transfer my crypto into cash. Like, it just didn't make sense to them because it wasn't tangible. It wasn't something that they can go out and they can actually physically touch. Now, something about real estate is this is an investment that one can actually go out and touch. I was just speaking with my friend, and she was with a couple individuals that play for the Rams, and they were talking about their investments. And one of them was speaking on how his financial advisor has his money invested. And the other individual was like, well, what's it invested in? And he's like, I don't know, but it's invested. And that's the thing. People don't even really know oftentimes what they're even investing into. And so when we talk about real estate, it's something that's simple. It's something that you can go out and you can touch, something that's going to be here, throughout time. And so small timing decisions have a big dollar impact. And ultimately, once again, the best tax strategy is the one that you execute before the end of the year. And this is also the last deal as well, too, that we are going to be raising capital for, to be able to get any tax returns going into the next year as well, too. So a couple ones. Let me check the comment section. The big buys are coming. Indeed, they are. I'm grateful for the opportunity. A lot of loans are up as well, too. You guys will see in the multifamily space specifically, there's going to be more deals on the market than ever. What's your take on the path of leveraging credit to do a company roll up in the real estate market? That's, verbatim the plan, and that's literally the blueprint. The blueprint is to be able to leverage one's credit, both personal and business, to be able to acquire funding to ultimately therefore be able to put into these assets such as multifamily and other cash flowing, assets. So yeah, that's the whole name of the game with credit and the teachings that we've been teaching, and really where we're putting focus with Billionaires Club going forward. As Billionaires Club, we're not offering credit repair anymore. We may even rebrand the university, and collaborate it with Multifamily Locker Room and the teachings within Multifamily Locker Room. But we're definitely going to, I've already mentioned such, but we may rebrand the name is what I'm stating within the online course that we have in the online university, because we are merging the teachings within the real estate space, the personal development space. We're looking to get some taxes information as well too from this individual, Patrick, whom you guys are going to hear from as well, whom's a CPA, and the name of his company You guys will all get the website before we leave here as well too. You guys will have a QR code to scan as well. Is Lean Fat out in Austin, Texas, the North Austin, Texas area. And all this information will be able to be broken down to you guys. If you guys want to set up a consultation, we can get that set up as well too. And we'll get you guys a contact and everything going forward. So I don't see any questions, so I'm going to go ahead and continue diving into the rest of the presentation. We don't got too much more. So we got cost segregation. I want you all to write down cost segregation. It separates components to accelerate depreciation, helping investor claim larger deductions earlier. So year 1 and year 2 passive losses can vary depending on property vintage, LTV, the CapEx, and the reserves. All right, I want you all to write down cost segregation. And then I want you all to look into accelerated depreciation. It allows investors to write off assets values more quickly than standard scheduled, increasing deductions in the first few years of ownership. Then we got bonus depreciation. With bonus depreciation, it's a form of accelerated depreciation, but it lets investors deduct a large percentage, up to 100% in recent years, of qualifying property costs immediately in the first year. Then we've got the 1031 exchange, which is a tax-deferred strategy that allows investors to sell one property and reinvest the proceeds into another like-kind property without paying capital gains taxes right away. Because a lot of times people are like, well, what's the capital gains that I'm going to have to pay on, the investment that I make? Well, what we recommend is really doing a 1031 exchange. We don't want you constantly coming in and investing time and time again with us. Yes, it would be great. And, we're going to have more than the opportunity of doing such. And many people are doing such and have been doing such within the past 2 deals that we've raised. They've raised for both deals, multiple people. And so that is the goal. And, with the deals, it's going to be hard not to. But at the same time, with, the first couple, investments, now we can do a 1031 exchange. And I was just speaking on that. And I told that even to the individual, who is with a couple of the players out there. She's a manager for a lot of the players. And I was talking to her about the 1031 exchange and, how with the financial advisor and the investment that they were referring to, what they're investing into is simply something that financial advisor is licensed, with, and it's really in essence a fund, because they have a fund as well, and they've got multiple athletes. It's not just this one athlete, where they're their financial advisor, and they're able to, and they're moving around their money for them as well too, and like bigger amounts of 10,000 or more, they're the ones moving it. And so that just never sat well with me as well when I had seen that in the space. And so that's why we came together and put together multifamily locker room. Well, a big part of it. And so not only that, I've been able to learn more and more every day on the tax side of things, the advantages, especially having individuals that are, that have been in this field, and they've been an expert in this field for some years, just continuing to be a student in this space. And so I'm excited for you guys to come here and hear from him. Let me go ahead and shoot him a call as well too. I'll shoot him a text and make sure he's even tuned in. Any questions for me? Where's everybody tuning in from? Where's everybody tuning in from today? Salute. Drink some water. Let's drink some water. Let's get hydrated. So timing considerations to invest before December 31st to capture 2025 deductions. So delaying until January means missing the 2025 opportunity. So before you guys know it, we've got holiday season coming up. We've got, tons of holidays coming up. Christmas, where a lot of spending, Hanukkah, of different gifts and just gatherings and, just offerings and, just communion, and tons of money is being, circulated. And so I want you guys to reflect and see how many of you guys have plans to help you guys get deductions in the tax space. If not, what better way than real estate? And we've got another deal that we're about to actively be raising for come November 13th. And so if you guys are looking to get more information in regards to this deal, you guys can all go ahead and scan this QR code that I'm about to pop up. This is the new QR code to go ahead and pre-qualify to invest with us. All right, let's see. We've only got a couple more slides, women. So bonus depreciation mechanics: accelerate major write-offs in 1 year. Deduct a large portion of the property cost immediately rather than spending it over decades. Cost segregation unlocks eligible asset categories. Specific building components like flooring, appliances, and lighting can be depreciated faster for additional deductions. The thing about our company as well too, and what we love about Rise, whom we're partnered with, is everything is vertically integrated. We will have a development company as well too, where we will be doing all of the construction from ground up, from even all of the value add properties that we will be doing as well too. Then we've got 100% bonus depreciation is back. So with the new tax bill, we've got 100% bonus depreciation is now permanent. So this is the entity level consideration. The LLC, LP, or individual ownership, each structure affects how losses and gains flow to your personal taxes. Then we've got coordinate with your guys' CPA. If you guys don't have a CPA, I'd love to connect you guys with my business partner, Patrick, whom you guys are going to be able to hear from here shortly. And you guys will be able to align with him. I'll be able to drop his company as well too here at the end of this call. Let me go ahead and pull that up. Perfect. All right, then we've got optimized for long-term planning. Choosing the right structure supports future investments, liability protection, and flexible exit strategies. Ultimately, that's why all of the deals that we're doing currently are all value add. I would love to give you guys more insights. Specifically, if you guys would love to join our community, would love to get into our email subscribe list, go ahead and just scan that QR code, fill out that information. Let's build a relationship. Let's get on a consultation call. Let's see where you guys are at. We can give you guys insight to the last 2 deals specifically that we've raised capital for and with, and everything is all vertically integrated with the company. So that means the property management, that means we're well aware of how, the upkeep of our investment is as well too. It's, up to our standard. It's not just, a third party that we're hiring, to where it's not their property and they don't even care about it, to where they're, there's, and that's a big thing as well too with a lot of these apartments is a lot of times. And how many of you guys can agree that live in apartments? Drop a 3 in the chat box if you can agree and you live in an apartment where the property management is terrible and it's led to many different things and many, just different crowds being there, just bad energy. You want to have a good look, when you bring people over, when, you want to have a good look of just your home in general when you guys are coming home. And oftentimes, a lot of these property management companies, are paid very minimal and they just do very, they just don't really care because ultimately a lot of times it's a third party and, they're not really invested into the property. With Rise and the deals that we're doing from every deal that we've done and will continue to do going in the future, everything will all be vertically integrated into any company that we do raise with our fund and deploy any capital into, or whether it's our own deal and we're going out and finding the asset and, we're going out and acquiring it with our team. We're going to have the property management in the area. We're already developing the team and everything, even on the development side with a construction team and developers, especially out here in the Arizona area. I went to Saguaro High School, and over there I've got, an individual who I played with, and his parents are some of the biggest developers in the whole valley. So we've got the team and the pieces really coming together to ultimately be doing our own deals. In the meantime, we're going with the system that's working and looking to help our clients, take advantage of, these tax advantages and these tax breaks currently, and then ultimately be able to get cash flow and a great return. And, the deals aren't going anywhere. As I said, if anything, there's going to be more deals on the market more than ever within the next, 6 to 12 months, really. So multifamily as a tax tool, it generates both passive income and losses as well. It offsets gains from other investments as well. Depreciation enhances after tax returns. Long-term tax shield and growth engine. So the next steps, as I mentioned earlier, is to schedule a call. We can do an evaluation of your tax and investment fit. What are you guys looking to invest into? Where can we go ahead and move some money? It doesn't even have to be specifically into multifamily, but where can we move some money, or where can we deduct? We can get you guys plugged in specifically with our tax strategist. This is a call that we're going to be running 2 times a week. Me and my business partner, Michael, outside of even the YouTube lives, a call that we're going to be running live with our public community on our Facebook group. If you guys are not in our Facebook group yet, go ahead and scan this QR code that I just went ahead and added to the top right corner. So this one is for the Facebook community. Make sure you all join it. And we'll have 2 calls a week where we're going to be going over this exact presentation. So you guys can go ahead and share this with other individuals as well. Have them come and be able to get insight. And ultimately, the goal is to invest before 2026. Thank you all for tuning in. You guys all can check out our website. You guys can check out, once again, even just the QR code right above. And you guys can also email us at connect@multifamilylockerroom.com. I would love to do Q&A. And let me go ahead and call Patrick and see if he's ready to tune in. Let me pull up this stream and see. All right, family, much blessings. Any questions? So ultimately, how to legally avoid taxes, invest into real estate, what type of real estate is the most cash flowing, to having little to no money, to no credit, to good credit, to great credit, no matter the circumstance, no matter where you guys are at. If you guys got little to no money, you guys can build a team around you of individuals that can help you guys go out and raise capital. You guys can find developers. You guys can go out and find the deals. Somebody within the capital raising group will have credit if need be, or a business to where now you guys can go out and acquire the loan. You guys can now put down 25 to 35% and raise that. And now you guys can own 50 to 100 units by you assembling a team. See, that's the thing that I love about multifamily is it's not just you. Things that I've done throughout my whole life has involved a team. I've always played football. I've always played basketball. I've never been a tennis guy one-on-one. I've never been a track guy, one-on-one. Everything I've done that's worked for me, where I've seen high levels of success at every single level. We've reached championship levels, not only in the state, or the region, but nationwide. In the youth sports, we played nationals. In high school, we were nationally ranked. In college, we played for one of the worst colleges in our conference. But ultimately, I've always, and I say that to say, not to impress you guys at all on anything in the past, but to impress upon you that, one, if I can do this, you guys can do this as well. You guys have seen the transition from me going out and educating you guys on consumer law, to business credit, to setting up a 501c1a, to setting up one's, so many different teachings over the years. So I'm like, where to even start? We got the non-citizen national passport card. We got, once again, the 508C1A. We've got the consumer law. We've got, all the teachings within the UCC teachings. We've been able to help discharge literally over $1 million in debt, by the teachings in the space of consumer law, and helped acquire over $500,000 in funding from people going out and having the negative items on their consumer report, and now being able to exercise the teachings that we've taught over the years within YPC University, within YouTube, and all of the YouTube, streams that we've had. We've had many streams, reach tens of thousands of views of people nationwide, which have helped people just from that one video alone, and people that have been tuned in, and people that reach out to me present day from years back. And so you'd love to get on the live. And so I say this all to say, I've just stepped into the space, in January. I don't have all of the answers. I don't know, everything in this space, but I have the team. I've got the CPA, it's got the tax questions and everything that could, you guys could, even think of in terms of questions, he could help answer and help set you guys up with. So let me go ahead and give him a call really quick. And if you guys got any questions, please do drop down. Peace, brother. Are you free right now? Yeah, I would love to. Okay, check your email, and then you should be able to just click that link, and I'll be able to add you into the stream. So that's for the Zoom. I want you to do the StreamYard. Yeah, so I sent you an email. I'll send it to you again. There you go. I just sent you it again. Check it out. Yeah, I just emailed you it. Okay, perfect. Let me see. Yep, I see you. All right, I'm gonna let you in. All right, family. Let's go ahead and get some fire emojis in the comment section. Let's get some fire emojis in the comment section, because my business partner is about to join us here. Super grateful for him to be here and take time out of his day to be able to provide information and value for you guys. This recording is going to be great. Above all else, let's make sure we get the likes up so that more people can get in tune with this. Make sure to drop some more comments and give some feedback if you guys are watching the replay, and share this as well too with 3 people. You guys know that the sharing goes a long way, and it means everything, not even just to me, but ultimately to the mission and the movement of everything that we're doing. So let's get into it.
Okay, can you hear me?
Man, much blessings, brother. Thank you for joining us. How you feeling today, bro?
Yeah.
Can you hear us? It looks like
Yes.
You're still looking to get it to work.
Yes, I can hear you.
There we go. Perfect. Much blessings. Thank you for joining us. First and foremost, this is somebody that really, and when I talk about you guys, it doesn't matter the position where you guys are at. Go out and find the team. This is somebody that along the way I was going out and I was looking to find the team, and I believe that he's been the biggest piece to the puzzle of what it is that we've been missing in terms of the tax, in terms of you guys have, I believe, no, you guys haven't even seen him live here on YouTube, only my private community. and I'm grateful to have connected him with our mentorship in our private community. So this is the first time he'll be here live with us on YouTube. And so I want you guys to understand that he's a huge piece to the puzzle of everything that we've been doing in terms of taxes and the loopholes within the tax space. If we think about guys and individuals like Donald Trump, right, where he doesn't pay taxes, and so many people hated Donald Trump because he doesn't pay taxes and they wanted to see his tax returns. It's because he was aware of tax loopholes and tax strategies, such as what Patrick is going to be able to cover here today. And I know that there's even certain things, that as Donald Trump is well aware of on the tax side of things, because Donald Trump isn't even for, big Uncle Sam and the IRS and that foreign entity, because we got to remember the IRS is a whole foreign corporation, right? They don't have nothing to do, with the United States or the United States government. They're a whole foreign entity. And so Donald Trump is well aware of tax loopholes, and he's all for investing specifically into real estate. So I'm excited to hear from even some of the insight into Patrick that he's well aware of some things that are ongoing currently, of some things that as we're closing out of 2025's, you guys just heard the whole presentation, tax year. Now you guys can hear some of the things that you guys can also take advantage of, as Donald Trump has gone out and helped, really give advantage to those that are investing into real estate. And so without further ado, Patrick, thank you for being here. First and foremost, I'd love to express my gratitude, and I'm excited for all the information and the value that you're going to provide. I've got a couple questions that people have asked within the private community that I can go ahead and share. But before anything, I want you to go ahead and, just go ahead and introduce yourself, and then we'll go ahead and get started after that.
Okay. Thank you for helping me on again as a guest on your YouTube channel. So essentially, I've been doing taxes for over 25 years or so, and in addition, I started out also as a real estate investor myself. I actually been buying and selling real estate since 2000 myself, from single family to multifamily to commercial property. I've done all that. So in terms of the tax wise, depreciation, advantage of real estate, I do know the ins and outs of that. I guess you can say that I'm an expert of it because I've been doing it for almost 25 years now. So with what I do, if you have question on certain tax question on real estate, I'd be more than happy to help you guys out on that.
Yeah, we definitely got some people that have asked some questions. So a couple of them, let me see. Let's see. They want to get more insight onto a 1031 exchange and the power of a 1031 exchange, because a couple of them said that they're currently invested into residential real estate, but they would like to transition to multifamily, and they want to know if they can use a 1031 exchange to invest into multifamily.
Yes, that can be done. 1031s is a like kind exchange to another one. So at the end, it's an investment property. So you a single family, you buy single families, and you decide to sell, and you don't want to pay the profit on the single family profit. You roll into a multifamily. So that is a 1031 qualify. So you pay no tax on that.
And so somebody coming in that, let's say year one, they came in and they touched their first six figures, and they don't know where to put their money. What would you recommend to them, or what are some tax strategies or some tax loopholes, for that individual in year one if they just came in and they just touched money that they've never touched before? What are some things that you would recommend to them?
Okay, well, like I say, that is kind of a detailed questions. I would have to know a little bit more about the individual personalities, how risk tolerant, all that stuff. But let's say focus on real estate, for example, for now, right? Because they probably invest into different criteria. I'm just talking about real estate for now. So you have three different type of real estate since we're on the topic of real estate. You have
Mm-hmm.
single family, you have multifamily, you have commercial. Like I said, I own all three. All have its pros and cons. So the single family, I used to own 15, 20 property of them in the past at one time. It was a lot of headache. I don't want to deal with the month to month. rental people. So of course I kind of gradually move out of it. The thing is that because single family also has a pro too. The pro is that it's smaller. You don't have to invest into a lot. So and because it's smaller, you can do a lot of things. There is a bigger potential gain on some of those property, right? So it depends on the client. If they want the hands-on, they do it themselves. Single family is a good way to start. Okay. However, the multifamily, okay, the multifamily, you don't have to deal with the day-to-day management because usually most multifamily has professional management, unless you buy a smaller piece of multifamily, like a fourplex, duplex, or maybe a tenplex, sixplex. You can do yourself. It's great too. You have the diversification in that property. Okay, it depends on how involved you want to get into your investment. Okay, and of course the multifamily, because of the diversification, the profit margin on that and the potential at the end, sometimes it's a little bit less than the single family. Okay, because you diversify your risk. Okay, now the other one I'm looking at is commercial property. Well, commercial property has a lot of risk in it too. Okay, the thing is that on commercial property, because of the additional risk, you actually could potentially make a lot more money also on commercial property. I have client who make $1 million on a commercial property in a period of 3 years. Okay, but again, it's a lot higher risk that you have to deal with because in order for you to get into commercial property, you have deep pocket in your money. Because what happens is if you get $1 million loans and average on $1 million loans, the monthly payment is approximately, let's say, 10%, which is $10,000. Not a lot of people have 10,000 a month to pay for that property if you don't if the property is not leased out. So I have to look into how strong your financial is and where to diversify your money. And you can do a cookie cutter, meaning you can invest into a little bit into commercial, a little bit into multifamily or single family. It depends on the client themselves. And when we have an in-depth discussion of that, and then have a better idea on where we should
And so,
invest that initial 100,000.
are there anything currently going on? Is there anything currently going on right now with Trump and the administration in right now? For individuals that are investing in real estate, going into the as the year is ending, what advantages or is there anything new that's arised that you can inform us on?
Yes. So the beauty of the Trump administration, what we had with the real estate is that we have it's called accelerate depreciation. Okay, before it was going to drop down to 50%. Now with the extension of the tax law, it's 100% depreciation now. What that means is like sometimes you invest into a real estate property and you fix the floor, you improve the property, or you add something in there, and it costs total, let's say $100,000. Okay, then you can pretty much accelerate the depreciation up to 100% on that investment. So in theory, you will lose money the first year if you need a tax write-off. Real estate is a very good investment to do that. You don't lose principal, but you lose money on depreciation. That's what the Trump administration allow you to do. Accelerate depreciation.
Mm. And that's huge. And so for athletes specifically, because that is where our fund is focused towards, what are some things, being in the space that you've seen or been in, because you were even previously a financial advisor, what are some things that you've seen that are pros for athletes, like a pro being like an advantage for athletes and them investing into multifamily specifically? What would you recommend to an athlete for investing into multifamily? In
Yeah.
terms.
So from a financial advisor, if the financial advisor just ask you to invest into the stock market because they control the stock markets, that's part of SEC regulation. For me, it's a injustice to the client because with the real estate, it allows you to diversify where you invest your money. Okay, so which means you already see the market like this year and past year is crazy. You have up and down,
Mhm.
and for me, real estate investment, specifically multifamily, it should be a big piece of their investment portfolio too, because of the diversification itself. Okay,
Mhm.
and then of course the other piece was the icing on the cake, meaning you have that depreciation, so you can you can write off on investment on real estate for your tax saving too. So in that regard, that's where my part is different from financial advisor, because I'm not just investing. I'm looking at different ways to save on taxes, and the biggest ways and the best way legally is real estate investing.
Hmm. Sheesh. And this is something as well too that me and Patrick have gone back and had long conversation on as well, because as I mentioned, I've been, and as you guys know and have seen, my brother, my best friend from high school, plays for the Eagles. And so, I've been able to see the behind the scenes stuff and the lack of what's missing. And I know he's not the only one at all in terms of the individuals that are supposed to be in position to help these people. And so it's our job for individuals like us to not only be able to provide these opportunities, but help educate them as well too. And so that's where I'm super grateful for Patrick. Is he's not just somebody that's been in the space and somebody that's just credible, and he's somebody that's always giving and giving out information and value. And so I say, if you guys have questions, drop the questions, even on the recording, and those that are watching the replay. If you guys have any questions, um, you know, where can they reach out to you, or how can they get a hold of you? Do you have an email, or where can they reach you out? I'm gonna go ahead and drop as well too a QR code where they can go ahead and scan it to go ahead and get access to your website. But how can they reach out to you? Can you go ahead and comment in the comment section your email, and then people will be able to reach out to you through there.
Yeah, so I'll create a, because you're in this unique group. I'll create a specific email for you guys, so that way within anybody in your group can send an email, and I'll create it after this call, and I'll send it. You can send it out. So that will be a specific email for within your group that you can contact.
Okay. For
That would,
our
because I have hundreds and hundreds of email every day, but I'll create a specific group email for you guys. So next time, I'll let them know, like, whenever this email, give priority for you guys.
blessings, and so this is his website as well too. I don't know which way. And this way, in the top left, to where you guys can go ahead and scan that and be able to get his website. And from there, you guys can see more of what he's about, and what he's been able to do in the field. But if there's one thing that you can leave people with, Patrick, what would you leave them with, leaving this call?
Yeah. So, like I say, the stock market has gone quite a bit already. Commercial property has gone quite a bit and it's going down, very risky. Right now, the best opportunity time right now to get the tax write off with that Trump tax break, and from a safe distance investment, I would say multifamily is the best time right now to get in, because multifamily has gone quite a bit and has gone quite down also the last year or so. So between now and 2026, take every opportunity you have and look into various investment opportunities for multifamily, because I'm doing that myself right now too. So whether
Mhm.
you join one of my group or not, that's what you should be looking at for the next year and a half.
Yes, blessings. Much love. Well, I appreciate you, Patrick. If you guys want to get a hold of him, you guys can go ahead and get a hold of him by scanning this QR code here in the top right, top left. I know I said left earlier. Top right, whatever direction it is for you guys. It's having me raise my left hand, um, but it's on the right side. So I appreciate you, Patrick. Thank you for tuning
Okay.
in, brother. We're going
Okay.
to be live here going over this call with our private community 2 times a week. And I'm sure that Patrick's going to be able to tune in to a lot more of these calls as well, too. So if you guys are looking to get access to our community, make sure you guys join our Facebook group, which is now on the top right. Go ahead and scan that. Thank you once again, Patrick. And I look forward to, providing more value for the community and for the masses ultimately with you. And really, that's just the mission that we're on, is just to continue just to provide value and over deliver on information. And so if you guys have questions, maybe you guys don't have any because we haven't put focus towards taxes. Now we're going to go out and do our studying and our research towards the things that we've seen on the presentation and the things that we heard Patrick talk about, to where now come the next live, you guys will have questions, and you guys will be able to get ready to get these tax breaks and be able to ultimately have these tax loopholes that the wealthy are aware of as well too. And there's many people that make millions of dollars such as these athletes that are well unaware of this information. And if they just had access to this information here, their whole circumstance and situation would be completely different. And so I'm sure that there's many people around you guys, many people in your guys' inner circle that also don't have this information. So let's do our due diligence. If you guys gained anything from this live, one thing that you guys learned, share this with 3 people so that ultimately those 3 people can learn at least one thing as well too. And that's how we're going to achieve the mission of empowering, enriching, and educating 1 billion lives. Thank you, Patrick, for being here. I appreciate you all for tuning in. Much love. I'll see you guys next Friday for the real estate information and next Tuesday for the credit information as well too. Peace and love.